Right, so I was going to do a video about the Saviton motor controller and the cycle analyst, but the problem is now that I didn't get around to doing it until I had them already mounted. So what I might do is take the controller which is in there, you can just see the heatsink on it. What I might do is take that off again at some point, just make a video about it. But this is the progress of the bike. I've got my charge port back here. Well, that's not the charge port. Hang on. This is the charge port, which goes on back there. But I'm waiting for the glue to dry, which I've just put on there, before I can actually bolt it on. So that's that. I've mounted the phase wires and the hall connector. They don't look particularly nice, but I'll fix that at some point. That comes down here, goes under there into the controller. Annoyingly, loads of electrical tape there because the braid didn't go all the way up. But yeah, that's the progress so far. I've put in the ignition lock. I've put in the ignition key switch. And I've wired that all so that when I twist the ignition, it turns on my Saviton controller and the cycle analyst. I've made this little thing, which is basically a cycle analyst connector extender. So this is my shunt there, and that goes through there. And the reason I've got this is that it splits off the wire that comes out of the shunt, which is the positive to the cycle analyst. But I've put a switch in between, so that's what that extender bit is for. And there's a little 3-pin connector here that goes off to the ignition switch. And that goes off to my cycle analyst. That will also go off to the analyst, which is the temperature sensor for the motor. And that basically goes from there, all the way under there, along here. Then it comes out with the hall wires there. What else have we got? This. That wire, that black connector there, goes in there as well to the controller. That carries throttle signal and the hall signal from the blue hall sensor. Blue hall sensor, what phase is that? I don't know. The blue one. Anyway, that's what I've got so far. I've got my main power wires from the controller, 10 gauge, coming up here. Goes into this splitter, this connector bit. Comes into there, through the shunt. Then I've got just an open wire on the shunt at the moment. And up here I've got my, these are charge wires. These were originally phase wires from my old e-bike. That's why they're those colours instead of red and black. But I was too cheap to buy more. So there's that. And these two small red and black ones, these are data from that big circular connector. There's another 4-pin XLR circular connector, which is, that's the big one. That's for my home charger. And this, oh god, this small one, 4-pin XLR, this is either going to be for data from either the Saviton or the cycle analyst, or both even. So it has got 4 pins, so ground, you know, shell is ground, data 1, data 2. I could do that, or this is going to be for a smaller, maybe 5 amp travel charger, which I can take with me to charge the bike when I'm off somewhere else. Anyway, that's pretty much the progress of this. I've got the controller mounted. I've got the cycle analyst done. I've got all the throttle stuff. All the handlebar stuff's done. That's all done. Another thing is this. As you're not meant to wire... what's it now? You're not meant to wire the batteries with individual BMSs in series, in parallel, because you get unhealthy currents going from one to the other. So this box is a battery diode protection box and a current monitor. That's what that little port there is for. As you get your 4 batteries coming in here, your main output on these big 10 gauge wires. And basically how this works is the input here, get the ground, those 2 grounds on there are common in there, go straight out to this ground. Those 2 go through a diode, a double diode, 100 amps per diode, that's 200 amps for the entire diode block, come out to these two positive wires. Actually no, they come out to these two negative wires on here, which then forms another common ground in there, which isn't connected straight to this. And then, actually no, I've got this all wrong, haven't I? Anyway, it goes through a diode in there, which stops unhealthy charge currents. I may remove this box if there's not that problem, but for now it's there. That goes in there to that shunt thing, and then your full batteries plug in there. Still waiting for the arrival of them. Well, 3 of them anyway. I've got one which is over there. What else is there to talk about? Oh, the handlebars. Right, so this is what we've got so far. Oh Christ! Don't drop that. I've just dropped the thing that's meant to be setting, which has all the glue on it for the charge port. So I've got my cycle analyst mounted by the help of a clip on the back. Got my data port coming out here, power port, external power, which is probably going to go to a light. I've got this, that's the preset selector, and I even bought a little aux button thing for the cycle analyst, which I probably won't be using because I bought it at 3 AM at night. Shouldn't have done that, but I did. Got my nice domino throttle mounted, all braided sleeving, all the wiring's behind here, nice and tidy, except for that. That needs to go to the other wire, and that goes down into my frame, not that one, this one, and hopefully that'll be done soon. Another thing I was going to say is I've got my head bearings pressed, that's why this is over there, to protect them. And another thing is that's quite interesting, I'm trying to get this all into one video. I'll talk about the individual parts more in a separate video. There'll be a video about this battery box protection thingy as well soon. The charger, there'll be a video. Now this box contains interesting stuff. These are hub sinks. Basically the curved heat sink goes around your motor, and you put ferrofluid inside your motor to go in the air gap between the magnets and the stator. Moves the heat from the stator to the magnet ring, to the case, and then these dissipate from there. Most people, what they do is they put one of these 15mm sinks on there. Not big enough, I got 2 of them. Now I will say these are bloody expensive because they're not just heat sinks that someone's curved, these are machined out of solid blocks of aluminium and then anodised. So, fairly high construction costs. They're about, what are they? 70 quid, 60 to 70 quid I think these are each for one set of hub sinks. And there's my digital aux button thing for the cycle analyst, which I probably won't use. Put that box back where it goes. There's the battery. Charge port's there. That's going to be broken out to the proper charge port, which looks really nice. There's going to be a second diode box for charging because there's a reason for that sticker. As you can see, this is an XLR. You can't prod your hand in there. This is a circular connector of the wrong gender. Normally you're meant to have the other end on here with the holes in it instead of the protruding pins. But now what we've got here is terminals that are live at 96 volts. And that's why that's there. But there will be diodes to protect back voltage from, to protect you from prodding your hand in there and going zap. But then it is sort of down here, so it will be angled quite down. So no one should hopefully prod their hands in there, and I definitely won't. But that's pretty much all there is to go on about for today. But oh yeah, and one more thing. I've bought the rims now. I've bought 19" by 1.85 chrome steel motorbike rims. I will need to either get them powder coated or spray them. One of the two. Don't really care which one, as long as they're painted black to match the lovely anodised spokes that I'm going to be buying. That's about it really. The rims should arrive on Thursday or Friday. and the battery shall hopefully be there as well by then, or hopefully latest Monday or Tuesday they'll arrive. Anyway, even if they take a month or so to get here, I don't really care. I mean, the rims aren't done yet anyway, and the wheels aren't laced, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this thing's going to be like. It's definitely not going to be boring. I'll definitely be going down the hill at, actually I'll be going up the hill at 15.5 miles an hour at 250 watts. Nothing. Anyway, but yeah. I was going to do a video as well about the cycle analyst and programming of it, but I haven't got round to that yet, as I said. Probably won't be a video about the controller. I mean, there's not too much to go on about on it. It's just a box with some wires coming out of it. There's not too much to go on. Might do a video about programming it though, but anyway, that's it for today.